Today I am going to show you the process of how we remove vetch from wheat or rye. This will work in both cases. I'm going to show you the process. This is what we're receiving. We received 2 semi-loads of vetch and wheat mixed together. Now if you go back in our channel, you will see how we used to do this. And I'm going to show you how, since, I don't know, 2013 or so, since we've had a color sorter, and then we got another color sorter in 2020, how our process has changed and sped us up. We get more vetch in the bag in a faster time for number 1 seed. So the problem is the little black BBs. This gentleman was rejected at the mills. They don't want to make bread out of that. You get specky flour, I've been told. I am going to show you, this is how we were receiving it. We got 2 semi-loads. We got the mill running over there, and we had to put the remainder on our wagons as we separate it. The first thing that we're doing is the initial split. We got to get the vetch so that we can go after the vetch. We're splitting the wheat and the vetch. The wheat is now going to the elevator because it is clean, or the customer can take it back home and do with whatever he wants, whether he replants or sells it himself to the mills. That's his business. We're paid to split it and to clean the vetch so that it can be sold for cover cropping. So you're seeing the sample. We estimate this is approximately 10% contamination, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. We won't know till the final numbers are in. Inside the plant is going to be loud when we are running, so I don't know that you will be able to hear me, but we are going to go in and go through the steps of the process. So this is the mill building here where we do the separation. My father converted an old feed mill in 1983 to a seed plant, added on to the far end, which we don't use much anymore. I'm out here because of the noise. It's been revamped several times. The last time it was revamped was in 1994 on equipment. We put those blue bucket elevators you can see there, and a 29D cleaner, which was a 4-screen. We used to have a 3-screen. And I'm going to kind of go over the process of the initial split. I will keep calling it the initial split. And we're going to shut down here and weigh a wagon anyway, and then I'll be shut down and I will go over initial split with the plant shut down so that it's quiet, and I will then fire up the plant so you can see the machinery in action. We are unloading another wagon of the mixture into the facility. While this is unloading, I will go through and explain what's happening. Going down the pit, up the universal D3 bucket elevator into the holding tank, which holds approximately 400 bushel. The mixture then is initially cleaned so that it can go through the other machinery for separation by a Clipper 29D seed cleaner. The advantages of the Clipper 29D is the 4 screens. The initial screen that I am running, we run slow here. I want to reiterate that we're running slow. My sister Bianca helps us, and I like to just keep it at a slow, even pace. We are probably doing approximately 80 bushel an hour. That may not be acceptable for some places, but it works for us. This cleaner is capable of doing like soybeans if we were bulking them out at 200 and doing a good job an hour, 200 bushel. We run slow. I run tighter screens so I can get my separations better, and I run slower. You can run a cleaner slower and do a better job. The initial screens, number 13 round hole, is taking out, this is called scalpings. You will see there's soybeans, I think there's some barley. There is a little bit of vetch that rolls down it. That's to be expected. Out of everything we've done, and it's been well over a semi-load now, this is all the scalpings that we have. So these are the scalpings. That's screen number 1. It then proceeds down screen number 2. Right here, I can't really show it to you. Let me see if you can get in here. Right there, sitting on top because we shut down. And it has brushes that go back and forth underneath with these cables to keep the screens clean. Screen number 2 is a 113 by 1/2 slot, a typical wheat cleaning screen. This vetch does not have many chips or broken pieces, so we're really removing small wheat just as if we were cleaning seed wheat. That's this right here. These are the small shriveled kernels, and these will also be able to go to the elevator. So that's what number 2 screen is doing. Now, this being a 4-screen mill, we have 2 screens then that head back this way. That's a number 12 in there. A little tighter on the scalps. We're doing a scalp sift operation again, and typically we get these wheat kernels or barley. I think this is barley in this case on these, and we get vetch that rolls down right here, and that will also be cleaned, and we just catch it in this lick tub here. Works perfectly. And that is the initial cleaning. This spout is the top air suction that aspirates the grain before we use our screens. Top air is very important for precision cleaning. This mill by no means is perfect. It needs some work, and we do that work also on cleaners, but that's a different video. But it's running, it's doing a good job for us, and it has since 1994. This is currently a 1964 model. So the grain has been put through there, and it goes to the first separation, which I will go and talk about now. We now have proceeded upstairs, and we are filling our 400 bushel tank. The first machine after the cleaner that we go through is a spiral separator. The spiral separator is a box that has 4 cores in it. We are only using about 2 of the cores because we're running at a low capacity. It's capable of doing 200 bushel an hour, and it requires no power. You cannot run dirty grain through it though. These are the spiral cores. Grain enters up there and flies around. It rolls around, and the round seed gets centrifugal force and flows, comes flying out into the cabinet. That's why there's these curtains, and it's rubber lined for gentleness. So the round vetch gets separated right away and through this machine. So that cuts down our percentage for the color sorter that I'm going to talk about. A very simple machine. You basically control the feed and your cutoff down here, and it does its job. So it's separating rounds from non-round. The wheat cannot get enough speed to fly out of the core, and then it stays inside and goes out the bottom in a different separation down to that pipe. So the first step we do is a spiral separator. The grain that is separated from the spiral separator is almost perfect, but not quite. All vetch crops are different. Sometimes there is hardly a vetch kernel left. It just depends on the growing season. But you will see, this is where the spiral dumps right here. When it's running, you will see me get a sample here. It still has vetch in it. These are misshapen vetch. And this then would proceed to a disc mill in my old videos, but with the color sorter I've eliminated the disc mill and the velvet roller, and I get more grain in the bag. This is now going through the color sorter, and it has a less percentage, and the round vetch is going here. And I will show you those separations now while the mill is off. Here's what is separated after the cleaner going to the color sorter. This particular crop, there is a lot of vetch left. It seems like this is misshapen vetch this year. Could be drought conditions, water, I don't know. This pipe, where the other is going over to another bin upstairs through a bucket elevator, the round vetch that it takes out. I have emptied the tank that the spiral separates into. You will see that there's still wheat in here, but we will go back and clean the vetch and do a reverse sort, and the wheat will become the reject and the vetch the good seed. Normally a spiral gets it out almost perfectly, there's no wheat in it, but this vetch has a coarse coat on it. I don't know if you can hear it or not, and I'll show you what I mean versus what rolls down the screen perfectly is be all black. This has a grayish tint to it. I've seen varieties like this or growing conditions, and it separates harder. The vetch that we cleaned before separated perfectly in one pass, and that went right to the bagger from the spiral. That tub that is on beside the cleaner, this is the perfectly round stuff that rolls down the screen. You can see how it's a black and glossy compared to that. I don't know if you can see the contrast or not. It all goes together, but it's got almost, you can say, a woolly feel to it. So every lot is different. Every lot, it doesn't always work the same every year. Okay, we have the wagon unloaded. We're getting ready to start here. And I'm going to now talk about the final separation, which this will all be running, and I will be able to show you this running but not have to talk. I will just kind of walk around in here and go over the machines. This color sorter has allowed us to eliminate the disc mill to separate the final stuff after the spiral. And when we cleaned vetch, we used the velvet roll mill, which is actually used on clover, but it worked very well, and we are known for high quality vetch samples and sales when we're done. The FMS Sataki FMS 2000, this is a 2020 model. I started out with a 2013 model, and it was basically the same. I just upgraded to stay current. This initial purchase with installation and training originally come up to about probably $68,000 to $70,000. So it is an initial jump, but over time it pays for itself, especially if you do a lot more volume than I do. I bought it to not only learn about color sorters, because obviously we sell used equipment, but also to see what they could do. Is this the top of the line model? No, it is not. It works for us. They all the salesmen bill them as the magic bullet, perfection every time. They are not perfect, but they do a wonderful job, and you can just keep working with them and get it better and better. You will see my separation. I have the sensitivity set quite high because we're after the wheat. This is the rejects. This, of course, again will be added to the other that you've seen, and then we will go back after the vetch. Now you will also notice, since this is the misshapen, it's also that grayish color vetch more than it is that black shiny vetch. And let's see if you can hear it now. It makes that noise. I don't know, it's the coating on the outside. This is the stuff that rolled out of the cleaner. It's the black shiny stuff, and it sounds different. I don't know if the video picks it up or not, but those are the things I notice. this stuff with the gray shell is harder to separate. So here is the clean wheat right here, and we're going to take a sample and send that to our customer. But as you can see, it looks pretty good, and we're sending that to the elevator right now. So we're going to fire up. There is a little bit up above the color sorter. I'm going to fire up while the stuff is not on. Turn the bucket elevator on that takes it away from it, and turn the one that takes it to the truck. So that's our ejection count. That you can tell how high contaminant you are, and when your crop changes, because the ejection count, when it starts out, it'll go up probably 5, 6, 7, but we're normally running at about 1, 2. There you go, 1, 2. So we're not highly contaminated, even though it looks like it. And here it is, spitting it out. That noise you hear is the firing. But it takes quite a while to fill this tub up. And she ran last night till 8 o'clock and filled up this one. So you will see here, this is wheat now is heading out to the truck to be taken to the elevator. And I would say it's a machine, you can't say with certainty, but I would say that we are vetch free. We really got it dialed in on this one. Each crop has to be set differently and adjust its parameters according to the need. But, I mean, that stuff is looking pretty good. We're going to send the sample to our customer. That is the basic vetch separation, how we do it nowadays at CTI, and the machinery that is required. Now, it can still be done the old way. I had good results the old way, but it took longer, and I had different lots. I had your number 1 seed, number 2, number 3, and each one of them being less pounds, but now I can get more vetch in the bag and sell it as number 1 seed, and at a faster time. I will say we could probably stay in here during the day and gently push this and push the cleaner and get everything tuned even more to get more capacity, but I feel that I would probably only be at 100 bushel an hour right now. I think I'm about 80, and my sister is gracious enough to watch the plant for me while I do other things, so I just let her rest here and watch everything, and she comes and gets me if there's a problem. So really grateful for her and her help, and that's how we do it. I'm going to now start all the machinery and do a walk around. Thank you for watching. We now have started the machinery, and I will walk around. You can see the clean wheat going out onto the truck right there. This by no means is a fast process. Bigger plants could be built based on need and how much you have to separate. camera makes the screen look like that. You'll notice we're firing at 2 times a second. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's pretty close. There's got to be one in there somewhere because we're dealing with mechanical machinery. This wheat could be planted easily. Here is the bin above the cleaner, what we're starting with. This is what the cleaner is separating by itself. We will be able to fast clean this and send it right to the elevator. This concludes the video. Thanks for watching. This is just our little part of the world and what we do. If you want help in separating cover crops, please contact us at Commodity Traders International. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.